Kissing 92.5, your 10 in a row, Heat Music Channel, your home for Kid Craddock in the morning. Snacks on your radio. I told you I have my homeboy guy Sebastian on the phone lines with me. And he finally checked in with me. And it's okay for me to call you the Prince of Australia, isn't it?
Man, I'll take that.
I mean, the Prince of Australia, I mean, that's cool, isn't it? I mean, it seemed like you've been doing your thing for quite some time. You started doing it at the age of 4, and then you started singing at 14. So were you that kid that was driving your parents crazy, beating on the sugar cans and all that?
Oh, totally, man. I mean, I got into it real young. You know, I remember raiding my parents' album drawer, you know, and I found this record, and actually it was a tape at the time, and it was a Sam Cooke tape. And I was like, oh, man, I don't know what this is, but this is crazy. I was only young, like probably a toddler. And, you know, I mean, the first time I heard, you know, Chain's Gonna Come and all those, you know, darling, you send me, all of that stuff, I was like, oh, yeah. I got to do that.
So is that one of the songs you sung in this Australia Idol that you all got going on over there?
Yeah, I mean, I sung a bunch of stuff, you know, from Lionel Richie to Beyonce to... man, I mean, I sung a song off Sound of Music. I sung Climb Every Mountain. It was hilarious, the songs that I chose. But yeah, I mean, I basically won the first American Idol in Australia. And so that was a whole crazy experience. I mean, it's pretty much the same show. It's like we've got 3 judges. One's like the Simon Cowell, one's like the Paula, and one's like the Randy. So it was pretty crazy.
Is that where you kind of just basically took off, though? People really start recognizing you then?
Yeah, totally. I mean, you know, like, when you look at sort of Kelly Clarkson's life, it's the same thing. You know, you go from being completely sort of normal and living a normal life and unrecognized and being able to, you know, do whatever, to suddenly, weirdly, people have signs with your name. They're camping out the front of your house. Like, it was crazy. It was really hectic at the time. And yeah, my poor mum and dad, they had people out the front of their house and stuff like that. So, yeah, a long time.
So you had your parade and stuff, huh?
That's correct.
That's why I say, is it okay for me to just call you the Prince of Australia, you know?
Absolutely, man. I will take that for sure.
It's Snack sitting down talking to guy Sebastian. Man, we're going to get into the song. When we get back, we're going to talk more about this album and this song that you got with Eve. Right now, introduce your hot single out right now.
Sure. This is my brand new song featuring Eve. It's called Who's That Girl? And I'm Guy Sebastian.
It's Snacks.
Kiss 92.5, your 10 in a row Heat Music Channel. Snacks is on your radio. And if you just now tune in, I got the who I've been calling the Prince of Australia on the phone with me, Mr. Guy Sebastian. That was his new jam right there called Who's That Girl featuring Eve. And I'm just trying to figure out, how did you get Eve on the song? Because Eve haven't did anything in a long time.
Yeah, look, I wanted a female rapper. I was a big Eve fan, and I wanted a female rapper, and I thought of Eve straight away. And it's not always you kind of get your first preference, you know. Like I've been really lucky, bro. Like with my career, I've worked with, you know, I've written a song with Brian McKnight and worked with him, and I wrote and worked with Robin Thicke. John Mayer played guitar for me, and like he sang backgrounds for me, and on my album I did a duet with Jordan Sparks called Art of Love. You know, like I've worked with even people like, you know, Beyonce. I've met her and worked with her, and yeah, it's been pretty crazy. I've had such a great run, and then Eve, you know, like she said yes straight away, and she was really sweet about it. She was like, you know, Guy, if I hated the song, I wouldn't do it, you know, regardless of how much you pay me or whatever. And I was like, good, because I'm not paying you. No, I'm joking. We did look after her, but she, you know, she said, I like the song and I'll do it. And she was like, you know, I had a song called Who's That Girl as well. I was like, of course, I totally forgot that, but this is a different song. It's not actually an Eve cover.
Let's talk about Who's That Girl, though, while we're on the song. We just played it. Like I said, it's featuring Eve, but it was the 5th #1 single, so it's not your first single, but it's the 5th #1 single. Second highest selling Australia. You're the second highest selling Australia artist since 2010, and you went 4 times platinum. Now, you're talking about humbling, but when you go 4 times platinum, how do you stay humbled?
You know what? I don't know. I look at all these numbers and it just goes over my head. I don't really know how to kind of digest it. It's crazy because, when I won Idol, my song was like, it went something like 6 or 7 times platinum, like the song that I released. So it's like the #1 selling song ever in Australia. That's ridiculous. Like, if you had told me that a few years ago, I would have just laughed. And then I thought, well, it's probably just a downhill slide from here. And yet, my fans just kept supporting me. They just kept coming to gigs. They kept buying my stuff. And now, Who's That Girl was it's probably my biggest hit I've ever released in my life. And so it's good. It's great when you start decently well and then it doesn't go badly, but it just kind of stays the same. I'm so happy and very grateful to my fans.
Sitting down talking to the most humbled and the Prince of Australia. I'm gonna make him run with this before I get off the air.
Do it, man. I'm gonna try and get everybody to call me that. There goes the humility.
Guy Sebastian is on the line, man. We'll do one more break with you. We'll talk about this Lionel Richie, touring with him and all that good old stuff. So stick around for me, all right?
For real. Sweet.
You got a Flow Rider and Nicki Minaj. Where them girls at on your 10 in a row Heat Music Channel, Kiss 92.5. I still got my dog, Guy Sebastian, on the phone lines. What up, homie?
Yo.
Now, you say you work with a whole lot of people. Beyonce, which really caught my attention when you said her, but Lionel Richie. You're on tour. You're touring with Lionel Richie. Lionel Richie.
Lionel Richie.
Yeah, that's kind of...
You're dyslexic. I just did a tour back in Australia and New Zealand and stuff with him, and man, that guy, he's like 61 years old or something, but he can move still, and his voice is like stronger than ever. You sort of see these artists come out and people that you're big fans of, and they get a bit older and they're kind of a bit more fragile. Their voice, they can't hit the notes. Lionel, he's like doing crazy stuff with his voice, dancing and moving those hips like you never seen him do, and that was really fun. We also recorded all night long together. We did like a dance version that Red One produced.
That's awesome.
That was like a charity single that we released in Australia because we had a lot of floods and bushfires and earthquakes and stuff happen all at once, and so it's pretty crazy down there.
Are you the first person artists call when they come out to Australia?
It seems almost that way. I've been very blessed, very lucky that I've worked with all these people.
And what is your feeling and what is your emotion when people you didn't grew up listening to, you get on the phone lines with them and you like, hello?
Man, it's weird. I think that's the weirdest part. I've never really been, like a starstruck sort of person, and so it's really weird. I mean, even the other day, like it's not like I really had anything to do with her, but I kind of just met her team and stuff like that, and just met her, briefly. I didn't really work with her, but I met Beyonce, and that was crazy. But like working with, sitting in a room songwriting with Brian McKnight, and recording a duet with Jordan Sparks, and having John Mayer sit down and play guitar to songs I've written and stuff like that. It's just like, I mean, probably one of the weirdest ones was really early on when I first started with Brian McKnight. I was just sitting in the room and I had that moment of, dude, what are you doing here? Like, this is your hero, one of your heroes that you grew up. You copied every one of his lyrics, growing up. And so it's pretty cool.
All right, before I let you go, I have to ask, are you a Bruno Mars cousins or something? I mean, because y'all look,
No, I'm a big Bruno Mars fan, though. I love that guy. I mean, I love that Bruno's brought back real music, real singing. Someone that can get up there with an instrument, that can write a song. I mean, that guy cannot write a bad song, and that he can just sing. And I mean, that's always been my focus, is that I don't want to just be a career that uses auto-tune and that digitally, rectifies my voice and everything like that. Not that I hate on auto-tune or whatever. It's a cool effect. But some people don't use it as an effect. They use it as though, like, for real, they cannot sing without auto-tune. And it's, I don't know, I just love seeing people like Bruno and people like CeeLo just get up and just rip out the song, and be able to sing it live.
For people that don't know you, man, before I let you go, give us your style. What's your style of music, and what do you want to tell the 4 states?
Look, I guess I just write songs that make people feel good, Like, I grew up listening to soul, neo soul gospel stuff, and so my voice, I'm always going to sing like in a soulful sort of way, but I try and write songs that reach everybody, like pop songs, and it's I guess it's kind of soulful pop, and but I love to sing, I love the opportunity I've been given, and I'm going to do it as long as I can while I'm still standing and still breathing.
Well, you have just created new fans here in the 4-state area, man. We thank you for checking in with us. Give us your Twitter, your Facebook, your MySpace,
Yeah, for sure, man. My website is www.guysebastian.com, and you can get everything on there. It's got my Facebook, it's got my Twitter, it's got all of that sort of. Yeah, I can't even keep up with all of that. It's crazy.
Well, we appreciate you checking in, man. Thank you so much. We have to get you down to this area, do a little performance, let the 4 states see what you're really, really about, man.
Absolutely, bro. I'd love to.